It was about 30 years ago when I found myself on a bus with 30 students that were participating in a studies abroad program sponsored by IU University. All those students had to have had 3 years of German studies in high school, and they were going to probably enroll at Indiana University. This was an intensive 7-week course of studies, of German studies in Germany. And I was in charge of the group. I was the director of this studies program. And my duties included everything from holding hands occasionally of those who were homesick or lovesick, or consoling those that were sick of the German grammar. When we came by, we were in Munich, and when we came by the university, the tourist guide and bus driver at the same time, said, and this is the Siblings-Scholl or Geschwister-Scholl Plaza, right in front of the university, named after some students who studied here. And he went on. Well, of course, right away, the questions flew from the students and said, who was that? Who studied here? And how did you get a square named after you? So obviously, I had to tell the story. That's my duty. I had heard about Hans and Sophia Scholl when I was about 11 years old, and that was still, the Nazis were still in power. I remember admiring those two students, especially the girl, Sophie Scholl. But I also remember being very sad about him and conflicted, and I still probably am. Hans and Sophie Scholl grew up in a Catholic family, like I did, and they were heavily influenced by that. But they were teenagers when Hitler came to power. And they were excited, like many young people were excited about what Hitler had promised in the campaigns, and that things would be getting better now, and that he would deal with the people who had taken so many of Germany's lands, and that he would wipe out the humiliating feeling. And so were the Scholl brothers and sisters. They were excited. It would get better now that Hitler was in chancellor. They enrolled even in the Hitler Youth. Both Hans and Sophie became members of the Hitler Youth because that's where everybody else was joining. There was excitement, there was singing, there were instruments being played, there was hiking. That's where all their friends were, and that's where they learned the patriotic songs. Until they realized that their parents were expressing a different feeling about Hitler. That there was a danger that Hitler would lead Germany to war, and that would be a disaster. And that Hitler was no good and would develop into tyranny and take Germany down to disaster. mainly through starting wars. Hans and Sophie noticed that, and they start, as they were getting older and also both now studying at the university in Munich, were realizing that their parents were right. Hitler was turning against what he had promised. And Hans at this time had already been for 1 year a soldier in the Eastern Front, and he had experienced the brutality that happened in the battles against Russia. They increasingly talked about this with their parents, but more so with their friends. But you couldn't criticize the Nazi system openly, so they have to do it very hush-hush, very secretly. They gathered some friends around them, and they use a secret name, and that's an important one that is still used. The Weiße Rose, the White Rose, that was the secret code name for their group. They studied Germany's most classic and writers like Goethe and Schiller, who dealt with liberty and justice, and they were very much convinced that Hitler pretty soon would lead Germany into chaos and destruction. And they tried to spread the word about their feeling, which was extremely dangerous. It's hard to imagine how dangerous it was to criticize the system. A lot of things, a dictatorship can handle, but to criticize it is destructive for them. So Hans and Sophie and some of their friends in the White Rose started to print leaflets. They got hold all secretly of a printing machine, and they got postage, but they had to be careful not to buy too much postage at the same time, otherwise the Gestapo would find out that they were spreading anti-Nazi words. And they put up also, secretly in the night, they painted slogans on the walls of the city, such as "Down with Hitler" and "Down with the war that Hitler started." And that again got the Gestapo very nervous that this was spreading so publicly, and they were after whoever did this, and they couldn't get him. After great efforts, they couldn't find out who it was. The Weiße Rose, the White Rose, as the group was called, went also established chapters in other cities such as Hamburg and even Austria, which really put the Gestapo on a search. One day, Sophie Scholl was laying out leaflets that she carried in her satchel to lectures. She got to the university early and laid them out on the big staircase where all the early students that came to early lectures would see him and pick him up. Well, it was noticed that what she was doing was noticed by the Hausmeister, the head of maintenance. And he saw her, and he held her physically and locked all the door, and she couldn't get away. So she was caught. Their lack of secrecy, of spreading this, ran out. Pretty soon, of course, they squeezed out the names of all the other students besides Hans and Sophie that were involved by searching the apartments of Hans, and Sophie, and they were going to be tried by a court. First they were going to be indicted, and the indictment was treason, which was very easily handed out. This was frequently handed out. Everybody got indicted for treason who even just said or told a critical joke. The super Nazi judge, Roland Freisler, well known in history, was brought back from Berlin, where he had his seat, to Munich to try this important case. That's how important it was, and that's how important the Gestapo viewed this case against the Weiße Rose, against the Scholl siblings, and 3 or 4 of their friends that were found out right away. There were three days of trial, and Freisler, who was the judge, acted more as a prosecutor, yelling at them practically. How could you do this? You both were members of the Hitler Youth, and how could you betray Hitler by doing this? Did you really mean it? Yes, they did. They did really mean what they said. Well, after back and forth, they were condemned. Their father tried to talk to them and say that they were just, to the judge, and that they were just kids, but he was physically removed from the courtroom, and he even, in parting, he yelled to the judge, "Someday there will be a more important judge for you. You better be ready." They were found guilty of treason, and the sentence was death. The very day, that was after 2 days, the very next day, they were brought to the famous Stadelheim prison in outside west of Munich somewhere, and they were guillotined. They were beheaded. First Sophie, and then some of their friends, and the last one was Hans. And his last word is supposed to be let me backtrack a little bit. The nice prison guard who really felt for those youngsters, he allowed them to have one short meeting among the friends before they were going to be beheaded. And they also got to see their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Scholl, just before they were beheaded. And they actually, what they did was stood around and shared a cigarette and ate a cookie that the mother had brought. The mother consoled her daughter, walked straight and upright to the guillotine, and said, "Sophie, just remember Jesus." And supposedly, Sophie also said, "Mother, you do that too." And that was the end of the trial. The sentence was carried out. Thinking back on this, after I told my students this story, because they asked, how do you get a square named after you? Well, that's how you got a square. And one of the students said, "How didn't we know before that? We've studied German for 3 years and nobody told us that." Well, there was such a thing that there weren't too many people eager to say, outside of Germany, to say much about that there were some good Germans. All I can say is it doesn't really, they failed, so to speak, in what they did. And maybe that's why people are trying to forget them. You need to We need to have a victory. They were not successful, they failed, but no effort for the sake of liberty and justice is ever in vain. And if you ever should go on a sightseeing trip in Munich, you will probably hear the bus driver say, and now we're passing the Geschwister Plaza, named after some students who studied here. Yes, I would say some students who studied there. That would be the first show.